You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Bold and Beautiful fans, we have got a big leak for you. The showrunner confirmed that Ridge and Brooke are going to reunite. He said it in a recent interview. He actually leaked the end of Ridge and Taylor, hinted why it happens, and why Ridge will wind up with Brooke, and when it's going to happen. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we're going to talk about all the info Brad Bell spilled, thinking, I guess, that American fans wouldn't hear about it, but we've got the scoop for you. But first, please hit that subscribe button if you're not following us. Now, some people have reported on this, but they only had a snippet of information because just a little bit of this interview came out online. But I went and got the Italian magazine that he did it in, and I translated it. And hey, be sure and hit that subscribe button if you're not following us. Now I've got the scoop for you. So when they were over in Italy filming remote scenes, head writer Brad Bell did a couple of interviews that were published in an Italian magazine. The same article quotes Thorsten Kaye and Katherine Kelly Lang talking about their characters, Ridge and Brooke. She gave some spoilers. He didn't. Katherine and Thorsten's stuff was interesting, but he was more circumspect, offered no spoilers. She offered a little bit. So if it makes you feel any better, the way that Ridge treats Brooke and Taylor really rubs Thorsten Kaye the wrong way. He said he can't stand Ridge and doesn't like the way he treats women. I mean, he's got to read the words on the script, even if he doesn't like them. It's kind of funny because Scott Clifton has similarly said he really doesn't like the way Liam treats women. Neither of the Waffle Boys like their characters waffling. As for Katherine Kelly Lang, she says she personally is very much unlike Brooke, who's been married 20 times, 8 times to Ridge. That's according to her count. I didn't go back and redo her count, but that's pretty close. The actress herself is currently single and said she's very happy and independent. And she also talked about how some of Brooke's storylines have been absurd and didn't sit well with her. In particular, Lang mentioned the Brooke and Deacon plot with her getting involved with and getting pregnant by her son-in-law. Of course, Bridget was married to Deacon when Brooke got pregnant with Hope by him. And the actress also mentioned Brooke sleeping with Hope's boyfriend Oliver as one she didn't like. She said fans didn't appreciate what Brooke did either time. And, you know, it's kind of interesting that she's also not a fan of what fans aren't a fan of. But then it was Brad Bell's turn to talk to the Italian magazine, and he dropped a couple of huge spoilers, maybe feeling safe since he was doing an interview that was to be published in a magazine that is not published in English, but I had it translated. So here's what he leaked, which for me kind of ruins the whole Nick and Brooke in Italy thing. Brad Bell said in Italy, they filmed scenes with Eric, Steffi, Nick, Brooke, and Ridge in various combinations. And he said that Ridge and Brooke decide to stay together forever. He said they filmed something in Naples, Italy that is a historic moment on the soap opera and called it unique. Bell said, while in Naples, Ridge finally understands he cannot live without Brooke, and he's going to ask her to spend their lives together. So sounds like they are going to dust off that destiny while they're overseas and Taylor is not around to speak for herself or try and salvage anything. And Bell also leaked that this is a big turning point for Ridge. And here's what's really bizarre, because Jack Wagner did a couple of interviews with U.S. soap opera sites saying that this could be the first of many returns for Nick. And he was talking about how Brooke and Nick might really have a future together. But the thing is, Jack Wagner is given talking points from Bold and the Beautiful. Actors can't just say things about plot lines. They are told what they can say. So that means Brad Bell and or the press office is telling Jack Wagner to say one thing to the U.S. press, and then Bell's over there in Italy leaking spoilers to an Italian language magazine. I will say this is actually kind of typical. It's on brand for B&B. Like when they were trying to convince us that Sheila was dead and they had Kimberlin Brown saying one thing when fans had figured out really fast it was Sugar that died, not Sheila. Weeks before the show finally revealed what they felt like was a big twist, but fans had figured out, not long after that. And then when they were pretending that Finn died, they sent Tanner Novlin out to do exit interviews. He was talking about what's next for him as an actor now that Finn's dead. I'm not saying anything bad about the actors. They do interviews and they say what they're told to say. They don't necessarily know where the storylines are going, or even if they do know, they're told to go give interviews and say these things, and they have to do it because they work for the show. All I know is Jack Wagner was saying what I'm sure he was told to say, and then Brad Bell completely contradicted it, which totally spoiled the plot and kind of makes watching Nick and Brooke's little mini romance totally meaningless for me, right? Katherine Kelly Lang also dropped a tiny spoiler and said Brooke and Ridge will exchange something very important, but I can't talk about it yet. I'm assuming it's not bodily fluids. Maybe they elope in Italy. Maybe they exchange vows and rings. It seems pretty clear that Brooke gets her man and Taylor gets her heart broken again. My guess is that they got the chance to bring back Jack Wagner for a ratings boost for July sweeps with no intention to have Brooke wind up with Nick, no matter what Jack Wagner was saying in those interviews, despite, and again, we're back to him being given talking points by the soap. And, as far as the storyline happening now and the scripts he's been given, that's what he knows. But, he can only say what he's allowed to say. So the article that included the interviews with Lang and Thorsten Kaye and Brad Bell concluded by saying, quote, Bold and the Beautiful is preparing to give us a big surprise, the end of the back and forth with Ridge and Brooke forever. I'm not sure why Brad Bell gave all this away in an interview, even one from Europe in another language. It seems insane to spill the ending of a huge storyline and kind of ruin Nick's big return that a lot of fans were excited about. Why not just keep quiet and not give away any spoilers? Because it's going to air like a month or 6 weeks later in Italy. So he was ruining things well in advance for Italian fans as well. So bottom line, if you are a Brooke and Ridge fan, this is excellent news for you because Brad Bell has said they are in game, they are reuniting, and it happens on this location shoot in Italy. If you're a Nick and Brooke shipper, not great news. And if you were hoping to see Ridge settle down with Taylor once and for all, like their daughter Steffi wants, you are going to be disappointed. Brad Bell said it. Now it's out there. I translated it, I read it. So that's a big leak. Although, to be fair, the writing was on the wall already. Ridge has been daydreaming about Brooke and having that 1,000-yard stare. He's telling Taylor he loves her, but then we can clearly see Ridge thinking about Brooke. So let's just hope that Taylor's broken heart syndrome doesn't come roaring back. Maybe she'll get the chance at romance with somebody else. Maybe Bill Spencer. She only tried to kill him the one time. I don't think he's going to hold that bullet against her. We'll see.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.